So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and today in this video I'm going to be talking about Frazer Clarke and where I believe he should probably go next in terms of his career. Now, in terms of this video, it's coming roughly just under a week since Frazer Clarke, Fabio Wardley obviously met in the ring. We now know that Frazer Clarke obviously suffered a broken jaw right onto the is it occipital bone or zygomatic bone arch, something in the top of his jaw. Obviously that was broke, and I think somewhere else on his jaw was broke as well, but again he was able to have it operated the same day, which this is what happens when you got money or you're fighting on, you know what I mean, a big bill where one of the promoters or the man who's organising it is very wealthy. He's got doctors on standby. So fair play to Frazer Clarke for that. I thought he done. Can't really say he done well in the fight because obviously didn't really do much, but because the fight was over quite quick, he was over in the first round. But he landed a couple of shots before he was put out. The shots that he did land didn't have an effect. If anything, it riled up, obviously, Fabio Wardley, and Wardley was like, you know what, forget this, I'm going to strike now while the iron's, still quite, the kettle's still boiling sort of thing, and that's what he did. And he obviously sustained a vicious knockdown before the referee stopped it, and yeah, I'm fully there with the stoppage. I think everyone is. There's probably not one person who could say that the stoppage wasn't right at the time. I personally, for me, I thought the referee should have stopped it a little bit sooner than what he actually did, because the referee was right in front of him and he saw how his jaw was reacting. You don't give a man opportunity, because it looked to me as if he was having a stroke. So that's just my thoughts. But anyway, where should Frazer Clarke go next? Now, it's currently 1-1. Okay, so he's got 8 victories in 10 fights, 6 KOs to his name, suffered 1 KO loss, and he's got that 1 draw. The loss and the draw both came to Fabio Wardley. Now, the first fight between the pair was sensational. Okay, we were all expecting a similar fight in the second fight, but it wasn't to be. But for Frazer Clarke, he's still early in his career. Now, he could progress, and maybe one day, if he continues boxing and he doesn't have no issues or secondary effects from that broken jaw, could potentially go on to win a world title. We don't know, because we've not long or recently seen Daniel Dubois do that. Now, I know Daniel Dubois and Frazer Clarke, their styles are different. But basically what I meant with that is that Daniel Dubois has suffered, I think it's 3 losses. Yeah, is it 3 losses, something like that? Let me just double check. But anyway, what I mean is that Daniel Dubois has suffered losses on his career. 2 to be precise. I just checked on BoxRec. But now he's the world champion. He's the IBF world champion. But he's lost to obviously the main man in the division, similar to AJ, Alexander Usyk, and he obviously lost to Joe Joyce. Now, pretty much after that Joe Joyce loss, everyone was writing Daniel Dubois off. They were saying, "Oh, he's pretty much a Frank Bruno. He's this, he's that." But he obviously stuck by his guns. Didn't listen to any of the haters or the things that people were saying about him, and gone on and, you know what I mean, had to shake off the cobwebs and get some wins under his belt, and he did that by fighting pretty much nobodies in his first couple of fights back. I remember he fought against a Dinu guy, Custamato, and then Trevor Bryant as well. These were nobodies before he fought a half decent opponent in Kevin Lerena, and that Kevin Lerena fight asked him some questions again. Now, after that is where the level from Lerena to Usyk was just too big for me. But again, he done well in the fight. Some people say he should have won that Alexander Usyk fight, and some people say that it was, you know what I mean, it was a low blow. So who knows really. But since that Alexander Usyk loss, he then came back again. He beat Jarrett Miller and Filip Hrgovic, 2 brilliant names on his resume before eventually knocking out Anthony Joshua back in September. So he's now a world champion now. In terms of Frazer Clarke, he can be a world champion. Yes, he's got that 1 draw and that one loss on his record, but again, this is still early. Like, if I was Frazer Clarke and his team, once he's fully healed and he's back in training, light training, and then he's back in light sparring, and then proper sparring, and then he feels that he's had no setbacks with that jaw, and there's no issues. He could take a shot. He's proper sparring, and everything's okay. Then try and look to capture or fight up towards that British level, that title. And I know that's where Fabio Wardley was. Fabio Wardley was the British champion and the Commonwealth champion, but look for those sort of fights. Try and have a few more fights under your belt. And it's not that he hasn't got the skill, it's just that he probably just needs, you know what I mean, a few more fights before taking on like whoever the British champion is at that time, because I've got no doubt in my mind that Fabio Wardley will vacate. If not his next fight, the fight after that, he will vacate the belts. So there's some silverware going to be on the table for whoever in like one of the British heavyweights. So if that's me and his team, I'll be looking, okay, which British heavyweights could he potentially entice into the ring? Now, there's some good fights out there for a Frazer Clarke. You've got people like Nathan Gorman, Cash Ali, even a David Allen. You know what I mean? If you could try and entice someone like these, get these guys into the fight. I know he's already fought. He's already fought Allen, but again, getting back into the ring, smash him again, and I'm sure he's fought Gorman as well. Can't think off the top of the head, but you know what I mean? Have a few more British fights, but people that you shouldn't be looking to go in there with at any time soon. People like your Moses Atalma, even a Johnny Fisher at this stage, because I feel as if these guys are probably cause more damage, especially Talma. Talma will probably break the other jaw, to be fair, but yeah, certainly go for a few more of these fights, and then maybe look towards your other British heavyweights that are maybe on the more of the decline, like your Joe Joyce or Derek Chisora, maybe even a Hughie Fury. I don't know what's going on with him. So these are a few good British level fights that you could potentially have to try and claim that British title. And obviously you've got David Adelaide. He fought Wardy not long ago. What's he doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, let's say this time next year, could that be a fight for Frazer Clarke? We don't know. But yeah, certainly I would love to see Frazer Clarke stay in boxing. And he's got a future, and he can be a world champion again. It's just obviously the psychological scars from taking that brutal knockout are going to be there. It's just how he kind of responds, really, how his body reacts to getting hit again on the jaw, taking some big shots. Like, can that jaw sustain it? I'm guessing it will, because obviously he had the operation, but we don't know. We don't know. It's still early days, but it'd be good to see him back on Sky Sports, actually, commentated. Not yet, obviously, but once he's proper healed and less pain and properly speak. I don't know, really. I've never had a broken jaw, but that's my thoughts in regards to where I believe or what I think Frazer Clarke should do next in terms of his career. But in the first fight, could have gone, honestly, it could have gone either way, and he was boxing the head off Fabio Wardley. It just wasn't to be. He obviously got put down, got points deducted, but it just wasn't to be. So he has got the skill, just needs a few more fights in my eyes. That's my thoughts. You guys let me know your thoughts. And as always, please subscribe and comment. Bless.